Hey guys, welcome to this Next.js tutorial. Today, we'll set up a server-side rendered app using Next.js 14 and Tanstack Query for advanced data fetching. We'll use an external weather API to fetch current weather data and 7-day forecast. So first, we'll start by creating a query client provider to manage our query state, ensuring both server-side and client-side queries are properly handled. Make query client function creates a new query client with default query options, setting stale time to 5 minutes, ensuring the data remains fresh for 5 minutes before it can be refetched. Browser query client stores a single instance of query client for the browser. Query client function checks if the code is running on the server, and if it is, it creates a new query client instance. For the client side, it returns a single instance of query client. Providers component uses getQueryClient to obtain the query client instance. It wraps its children with a query client provider, passing the query client to it, which makes the query client available to the entire React component tree. This setup ensures that our app has a consistent query client, enabling efficient data fetching and state management with Tanstack Query. In our root layout component, the providers component wraps the children prop, ensuring that the query client is available throughout the entire component tree, enabling efficient data fetching and state management. Now, we will look at the API.ts file, which contains the functions to fetch weather data from an external API. The getWeather function fetches the current weather for a specified location. It makes an API call, parses the response, and returns the temperature and weather description. GetForecast function fetches the 7-day weather forecast. It makes an API call, parses the response, and maps the data to an array of forecast objects. Each object contains the data, average temperature, and a description combining the max and min temperatures. These functions enable our app to fetch and display current weather data and a 7-day forecast, providing a comprehensive weather overview to our users. Let's now set up the weather page component, responsible for server-side data fetching and hydration for our weather data. Inside the weather page component, we create a new query client instance. We then prefetch the weather data on the server using prefetch query, ensuring the data is ready before rendering. And finally, we wrap the weather component with hydration boundary, passing the dehydrated state to ensure data hydration on the client side. Hydration boundary basically ensures server-side fetch data is available on the client without refetching. So finally, let's take a look at the weather component responsible for fetching and displaying current weather data, and a 7-day forecast using Tanstack Query. Declare some types for weather and forecast results. In the weather component, the useQuery hook with the same query key weather retrieves the prefetched data, ensuring it is available immediately on the client. Unlike the current weather data, the forecast data is not prefetched on the server. Instead, it is fetched directly on the client when the component mounts. The fetched data is stored in forecast data, which is then used to render the forecast information. This approach ensures that the forecast data is loaded on demand, providing a dynamic and efficient user experience. Finally, we render the current weather and forecast data. The current weather data is displayed if available, and the forecast data is mapped to display each day's forecast. Now we can import our weather component into our page component. So I made a bit of a mistake here, and I had to remap how the data is returned. So you can see exactly what I did wrong. Cool. Now that I fixed this, we can see what the data looks like with the forecast and for the current weather. Okay, now we're just gonna add some HTML heading elements so we can differentiate in the forecast what day it is for the specific forecast. Okay, cool. So we see that the app works, and that's pretty much it. I haven't handled any loading states, any error states, so that could be improved upon. Also, if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/yorin1, and I'll see you in the next one.